Marie Monti, and you're watching my interview on Dash Radio.
Woo! All right, everybody. This is Mai Wan here at Dash Radio with the multilinguistic, the ever-talented, there's so many adjectives I could use to describe you. I'm just going to say with the incredibly talented, beautifully singing Marie Monti.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me today.
Of course.
I'm so excited to be here.
We're very excited to have you. It's very rare to get I feel like in today's world, we don't get a lot of classically trained musicians, and especially a classically trained musician that has such a grasp on modern pop music. So very excited to speak to you. I wanted to say this 3 ways. So I said, hi, how are you doing? I also wanted to say, como usted, señora, mucho gusto. And then I wanted to say, bonjour, ça va?
Yes.
Je m'appelle Maiwan. Enchanté.
Enchanté.
Hey,
So you speak French too?
Un peu. For all the French speakers at home, a little bit. Je parle un peu. I took a few years of French, and then living here in LA, it's almost like you learn Spanish. If you work long enough in LA, you learn Spanish. But for you, so let's start from the beginning with your journey. You started piano at 5?
Yes.
I'm 30 and I'm still trying to learn. So that's amazing. You followed up with cello at 7.
Yes.
And this was
correct.
all in France, right?
This was all in France, where I was born and raised.
Yes, and so I have seen that you've posted recently something that was like You Younger, where you have a lot of roots in Spanish music.
Yeah, so actually it's pretty funny. I feel like this is something that maybe in the US we don't really get, but in Europe it's so small that all of these, different culture, like from Spain, Italy, even Germany, like we're all just close, and it's so easy to travel. And so since I was a kid, first of all, I always loved like the Spanish music. That's really how I started to learn about the Spanish culture.
Okay.
And also because my grandparents were immigrants from North Africa, where, they were what we call in France pieds noirs, which means black feet, because they were originally French, but they were born in Tunisia and Algeria. And so it was mixed, it was a lot of French people, Spanish people, Italian that were, these, that were this part of this community. And so it was very Mediterranean.
Okay.
So that's also, where I think I loved, the music, the food. It was very similar to to the culture in Spain.
Absolutely.
And then when I grew up, I learned Spanish. I traveled a lot, and I lived a little bit in Barcelona.
Oh.
I had a boyfriend there. So yeah, that's
Had, keyword.
Yeah,
keyword. I'm sure.
He's
a lot of the
he
Spanish.
stayed there, or I don't even know where he is.
The way your energy shifted right there. Fuck that guy. You fucked up whoever that guy is. She's on the radio now. But no, so what's so interesting to me is you alluded to this, and a lot of us, I always like to call us like Americans, like us dumb Americans, because we really aren't that smart. Europe is so small relative.
Yeah.
So Germany to Spain is probably, because I go to Germany every year. Every year we go, I have family that lives in Dusseldorf. We like to take the train to like Paris.
Yeah.
It's the same distance from LA to San Francisco as it is from Germany to Paris, or Paris to Spain.
Exactly.
So that definitely makes sense to me, and I just wanted to explain that for all the kids who are going to go back and watch this. It is very easy in Europe to travel and to get other experiences, which we don't think about that, because in America, here to New York is like crossing all of the continent.
Exactly. It's, I mean, for me, when I was, because I was born in Dijon, that's like a small town, and then
I love the way you say it.
I went to study in Lyon as well. That was a little bit more in the south, but then I was only like 2 hours and a half away from Barcelona.
Exactly.
So I was there all the time.
It's closer than me going to San Diego.
Yeah, exactly.
California. It's the same distance,
And there's no really like borders.
No, I'm gone. You just kind of.
It's Europe. So
they
you
kind
can
of
just
look
drive.
in.
Yeah.
Now too, if you have a European passport, I think you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the next chapter in your life. So you fearlessly, I'm gonna say this fearlessly. You came to Los Angeles. Didn't have any contacts.
Nope.
You didn't really know people. But did you come to go to UCLA, or you just happened to go there after?
I went there after because so I first came here like literally on my own. I didn't even have like an apartment or money to pay the
What
rent.
made you say I'm going to LA under these conditions?
Because I always wanted, I don't know, there was always something inside of me since I was very young that just pushed me to live in the US. I was, as a kid, I was speaking even English, you know, to like, I don't know, my toys, like everything. I just wanted to be, you know, American so bad because of the movies, everything.
Yeah, the culture.
And anyway, when I grew up, I just wanted to be here for the music because I knew that's what I wanted to do, and I knew it was in LA that I could make it international, and that would be the only place where I would be able to sing in any language that I would like to.
Absolutely, but that's so like, because, you know, I don't know what cost of living is in France or in Barcelona, but LA, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the most expensive places in America.
Yeah.
You know, we have San Francisco, New York, and then it's us.
Yeah.
So you came in, you dove in the deep end.
Oh, yeah.
As we would say, no floaties, you know, we used to float in the water. You just came here on your own.
Yeah, completely reckless. I'm not even gonna lie.
How old were you?
When I moved here, I was 20 years
old. That is kudos to you. I'm
Thank
gonna say
you.
to be able to maintain for this long, to be in LA for. I always tell people when you come from out of town, I think the average lifespan in LA is about 2 years. Most people end up having to go home.
Yeah,
because you have to get used to paying more. Just like our rent, and then our gas is more expensive. Milk costs more here. But then, in addition to you maintaining, how did you get into UCLA, or what was that part of your journey?
So when I came here, I came because, you know, for me there was also the problem of the visa.
Oh,
so I came first on a tourist visa. That's
a tourist visa.
A tourist visa, yeah. That's like 90 days max. So you have to leave earlier than that, otherwise they can, you know.
Yeah,
they don't really like it. So I came here for like 2 months and a half. I did a home exchange. So I swapped my apartment that I had in Paris to go to someone's guest house here.
Wow.
So that was the only way I could like.
So you
not
didn't have to pay rent?
No. Wow. So yeah.
Genius hustler.
It's a good tip, guys.
Yeah.
If you ever want to travel, I've done it to go to Hawaii as well, like on vacation. It's super cool. So
after this interview, I'm gonna get more information. I got an apartment out here in West Hollywood. Anyone wants to take my apartment? I'm taking all European countries. I'll go to any Asian country. That's really cool. Okay.
Yeah,
so you did this.
I did this, and I got here, and I was like, okay, what now? I was in Venice Beach, so I didn't know the city at all. I had no idea that it was so, you know, every neighborhood was so different.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It was so big too. And I just started like going out, meeting people like randomly, and then just going to, I don't know, places that sounded like appealing to me. And little by little, I started to meet like people and create a network. And then I was like, okay, now I need to come back, but I need to have a visa because I actually can't do anything as a tourist.
Yeah.
I couldn't perform. I couldn't really, you know,
yeah.
I was
not
allowed to work, nothing. So I was like, okay, I saw this program for foreigners at UCLA, and that was for music business, which was it was also super interesting, you know, because I wanted to know also this side of the industry. And so I applied, I got accepted, and I got a student loan in France, and I came here like this, and then.
Wow, so that program is what allowed you to stay here.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
You're still not allowed to work though.
It's crazy,
really,
the whole immigration thing. Have you been able to sort all that out?
Yeah, I don't know, you know, how much we can say
okay,
here,
well,
but I figured it out.
I would hope for the sake of us fans, because we want to see you live. I want to hear you sing live, so good to...
now it's fine. Now that, you know, ever since, so...
Très bien.
Yeah. I figured it out after this, so I was... like, my goal was to get signed to a label here, and that's what happened, like... So, you know.
I just applaud you. I need like a group of interns here just applauding you. That's amazing to go from. It's one thing to travel internationally and just be able to get by anywhere with the language barrier, the culture barriers. For you to also accomplish your goals as an artist, it's another thing just to get signed is like 1 in a million. So you're definitely what I like to call a winner. I can see it in your eyes. Like I can feel like
so much.
No, of course. I feel like whatever you wanted to do, whether I've I've said this to a handful of artists, but there's certain people you meet, and I feel like if you wanted to be on Mars, you would have made it happen. If you wanted to, find a cure for something, you could have made that happen. And music is not an easy endeavor at all. So kudos to you in your long journey.
Thank you so much.
No problem. I want to give you a gift. So I gift every artist I meet an album. Now, this was very interesting because your music is very, it's like modern day classical. I don't know how to explain that, but it's very big and it's very, I can like hear every live instrument, And so I wanted to give you an artist that to me makes some very soulful live music and it's all organic. I don't know if you've heard of her. Her name is Esperanza Spalding. I don't know if you've heard of her.
I have heard of her, and I have actually never listened to her music.
You
but
need
someone
to
very,
listen to it.
very close to me told me about her.
Yes, she's
and
amazing. She
so
sings in multiple languages.
That's amazing.
Every
Thank
album
you so
she does,
much.
of course, that is yours to
What
keep.
is she?
She is. I want to say she's Brazilian.
Yes,
but
because I see some songs in Portuguese.
Yeah, she does Portuguese, Spanish, and English.
Wow.
And
I love that. I
yes,
love that.
That's one of the two reasons. One was
She's beautiful too.
She is beautiful.
Wow.
You guys have that in common. It's just she's a trained musician.
And she plays the violin.
She plays the violin.
I
She's a
love
violin
that.
cello player. I've seen her play the bass. What's the big violin called? I keep forgetting.
The cello
That's
and
the cello, right?
the cello and the bass. There's two different. So the one I play is the cello. That's the one that you can hold, like this.
Okay.
And the other one that you can play standing.
So she plays the one that you have to sit. And it's
That you
like
have to
banging
sit.
on
Yeah,
the ground.
that's the cello. That's the one I have.
That was the other thing I had seen was she's like a world-renowned cello player
Wow.
that makes her own music, and I think that's something that what's so interesting about you is you're taking pop music on, but you're taking it on with this classical training. So I had read that you're a singer-songwriter,
Yes.
but then the word that stood out to me was producer.
Yeah.
Are you producing?
So I don't create the beats, but all of my songs I make, the structure. I'm super involved in all of the production aspect for
Amazing.
it. So I do my vocal production, and I always work with the producers on I know exactly what I want.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm very
So you
very
are
involved.
you
in
are
the
producing
process.
in
Yes.
a sense. There's been a conversation in the States recently about producing and beat making.
Yes.
And how they're two different things, but they do
Completely.
go along.
Yep.
So I think that's amazing. And I think your classical training, you have to produce almost. You can't just sit back and let other people do it.
Yeah, and I feel like also just as a songwriter and an artist, you kind of have to, because at the end of the day, producing is just making sure that your vision just comes together and just bringing all these elements together to make one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And now that you're doing it in multiple languages, it's one thing to learn Spanish, speak it. It's another thing to sing in Spanish. It's a third thing to write in Spanish. So you are also writing in
Yes.
Spanish.
Yes.
Do you have to, I mean, I don't know how well you are, like, yo hablo un poquito español, pero mi español es basura. Like, I would never be able to,
Basura,
I would
wow.
never be able to write a song in Spanish and properly get don't worry, sorry, it's the room. But I would never be able to properly get the grammar and stuff down. Do you have to, grammar check with somebody?
Grammar, I'm pretty good, but sometimes, I mean, I just, I always double check,
Because
my
you
stuff.
might,
Because it's not my native language, so I'm definitely always learning.
Do you have a
journey.
team? Do you have a team of I don't want to say it sounds
Like songwriters.
that specifically for the Latin music, like songwriters, producers you work
So
with?
I wouldn't say I have a specific team, but I collaborate with a lot of different artists and songwriters, and I mean, on my first project, I've worked a lot with this producer duo that's called 10 Towns.
Yes, you guys did a great job. Bella, right?
Yeah, Bella, from the songs that are out, we did Como Tu together, Bella, Me Duele, Apaga la Luz. Yeah.
Wow, you guys have a
almost
great
all of my
chemistry.
stuff,
Yeah, great chemistry. And
Yeah, I love them.
I love that you don't compromise and try to sound like anybody else. If I was to compare you stylistically, it's almost like a Latin Adele. Is really like I was debating.
Thank you. Wow.
No, of course. I was debating giving you an Adele album, but I just
I have them all.
Oh, okay, perfect. To me, what stood out the most was your classical training. As you can tell, like I'm enamored with people who play instruments and do music down to like the core of it. So I had to give you the Esperanza
I love
album.
it. I can't wait to listen to
You're
it.
gonna
Really,
love it. You're gonna love it. She has a song on there called "Between Good and Evil." That's really, and the whole thing is great. Or "What a Friend" is really good too. But who are some of your inspirations? Because I scavenged Google, and you've done dozens of interviews. It's not like she doesn't have interviews, but no one's asked you. I didn't see anywhere. Who are some of the artists who inspired you? Who you know, growing up?
So there's a lot, you know, of artists that inspired me, but I want to say probably the first one that really inspired me as a child was Shakira, because she was my first idol. I loved her. Like I had posters of her all over my room, and I'm pretty sure that's where the passion for, you know, Latin music specifically comes from.
It has to, right?
Yeah,
most
it
definitely.
has to. Like literally, I was doing all of my talent shows, you know, in when I was like a little girl. Like I was singing her songs.
Yeah.
I was singing
Lole,
gibberish.
lole, lole.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't even know what it was because I didn't sing. I was like 7 years old. You know, I didn't know English or Spanish, but I was singing it all.
You just love that you were hearing and seeing.
Yeah.
Most
so it was
definitely.
her. And then when I really decided, like when I really found the passion within me to make music my life, like to really sing, I think it was coming from Lana Del Rey.
Wow, so recent, more recent.
Yeah,
you kind of made the life decision.
Yeah, for sure.
What sparked that, or what inspired that decision?
She just really touched me. I just
Really?
like I resonated with her songs and her voice. I feel like we have a very similar type of how you call it, texture.
Yeah, vocal cords.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. I can see it.
And yeah, like I just, it connected, you know, it helped me connect the dots with my inner fire.
Yeah.
for
Thank you,
music.
Lana.
So I
prior
love
to
Lana.
hearing Lana Del Rey, you didn't know if you were gonna sing. It just was a passion for you.
No,
Because you started piano at 5.
Yeah.
So it's always been there.
So the music has always been there, but it was not, so since it was so much part of my education and very classical, when I was, you know, when I became like 13, 14 years old, I was a rebel. So I was like, fuck it. I didn't want to do anything
Classical,
that was
you were over all that,
classical.
yeah.
I was like, fuck that. Why did I pick the cello? Because I picked it. It was not even from my parents. I chose it as a kid. Why did I do cello, piano? I want to play the guitar. I want to play the drums. I want to be cool. You know?
You wanted to be a rock star at that point. Yeah.
So I kind of like put it aside, but
Okay.
it was obviously, it was a part of me.
Yeah.
Always, you know, you can't.
Are you still
don't
able to
forget
play
it.
if someone hands you a cello?
I have a cello, but I'm not as good as I used to be. I just
Okay.
need to practice because
No, I'm sure you're good.
It's been long, but yeah, I mean I remember,
I'm
you know, I know
sure
my
you could play.
my
You seem-
arpeggios and my everything.
See, I didn't know what that means. So I'm very confident you would still do really good on that thing. So,
But that's
Lana,
definitely a goal, though. I want to be able to go on stage and just like
yeah, I know you will.
start.
I know
playing
with
cello.
you, I think what's going to be so interesting is almost challenging yourself. I think because you make great music, and it's already charting. You're already getting on charts. You're winning awards. I saw you all over the Latin Grammys. It's almost going to be challenging yourself to also accomplish these things, like perform in addition with the cello.
Exactly.
You had a big show out here in LA, and I saw you had backup dancers and everything.
Yeah.
That must have been such an incredible, like we say, coming full circle moment. What was that like, being on stage, looking at the crowd?
Man, it was amazing. It was like, because I had waited for this moment for so long because of all this, you know, time where I wasn't able to perform like legally here. So I hadn't performed in so long, and then COVID hit. Just when I started, you know, my career, and I got my visa, and I was like, I can't perform. It's like, because it's really the next level. It's amazing already to be able to put your music out and stuff and share it with the world, but the connection that you get when you're on stage and you actually, you know, see your music like resonating with people, and there's all this transfer of energy. It's magical.
Absolutely.
You know, and so being on stage, it was just, it went by so fast.
Right? It must have been like
in
this.
the moment, and I feel like I've never really had this feeling before. It's like where you're just so in the moment that you forget about everything.
Yeah, it must be like the ultimate high, something you want to chase
Yeah.
and just do it again and again.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, one thing I have noticed about you is everything you have released musically, whether it's been a song or a video, is very big. Even down to the music. Your work with that production duo, or the
10 Towns.
10 Towns.
Yes.
It's so big. It's like, we like to say stadium music. And then I saw your video for Como too.
Yeah.
This was a full-blown movie. You had actual actors in it. You had an actor I recognized. I don't remember his name, but I've seen him in like Fast and the Furious or something like that.
They were amazing. The whole team was
You
incredible.
had an amazing video. There was so much that went into it, from like the beginning, the actual, what you were seeing really went with the song. Guys were walking up, he was having them killed. And then right when you kissed the guy, I was like, oh, she killed him. I had like watching the video, I was like, oh, she's gonna kill this fucker for sure. Because like, nah, there's a reason she did this. And then you went in the back and peeled the lipstick off. So how much of the video was your idea? How much of it was brought to you?
So it was completely my idea. Like, it was the vision I had for the video from day one. And then I worked with my team, with my manager, Georgie Blamo, that like completely directed it. Of course, we wrote like the script, like the scenario, the treatments and everything together. And that's why it was amazing for me to work with him. And also Giannini Semedo, that helped us also co-directed the movie. Matt Marshall, that produced. Like, this whole team was amazing.
It came out really good.
But yeah, it was all like coming from this vision that I had, because I had this Jessica Rabbit.
Oh my God, I wish I would have said it before you. I was gonna say you gave me Jessica Rabbit vibes.
Because that's what the song inspired me at first, just musically. And then I created this whole, story that was also a metaphor, was metaphorical of, like my feelings and what I was expressing through the song. So
it fit what you're saying, like he wants to be like you, or right?
Exactly.
That's what it translates to, right?
Yeah, it's like no one could ever replace you, as hard as they try. Like, it's like this lost love that you keep like comparing, and nothing really compares. And
well, what was symbolic in the video? Why did you kill the guy at the end?
Because it's actually this is just the beginning of the story, so I can't really tell too much of it.
So that was my next piece, was because at the end of the video you drive off. I'm very particular. I'd listen to things. It was like a car crash.
Yes.
And it said to be continued. So do you already have the next song in mind, video and everything?
Yes.
Is it already shot and done?
No, it's not shot yet.
Okay.
But
it's
gonna be shot very soon.
Is the song out?
Treatment, everything. The song is not out.
Oh, nice.
It's coming out. It's coming out very soon, though.
Very exciting. So you've given us like 5 or 6 singles, right? Great songs. You've given us Bella, the EP. So I just have to ask, I think your fans are going to start asking too, is what can we expect next as far as project? More EPs, maybe like a full-blown album? Are we looking at more singles? What do you have in mind?
A lot of music. A lot of visuals, and I feel like this year is really going to be about a real introduction of who I am as an artist and what my sound is.
Okay.
And so I feel like it's going to be even more personal, and I feel like I've evolved a lot as well as an artist, and I've finally, really found myself.
I would agree. I think listening to Como too, it has like the classical roots, and it has a lot of the real soulful and instrumentation of Bella, but it is very radio friendly, more upbeat. So I definitely think you've come into your own.
Thank you so much. But yeah, Bella was way more of an acoustic project, so that's why it was, it was a single, an acoustic single that came out along with like acoustic versions of my prior singles, but my real first EP is gonna come out this year.
Oh, I can't wait.
And it's coming in 2 parts.
Oh, really? Oh, yes. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's very exciting. How much of the EP do you have recorded already?
Everything.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
So this is coming sooner than we think then.
Yep.
That's amazing. Amazing. Is it in like the mixing, mastering process?
Yes, some of it is already mixed and mastered, and then working on the visuals, on everything.
Very exciting. Well, I know everything I've seen from you thus far is the one word. If I had one word to describe it, it would be luxurious. It's very big. Even your music videos and the songs. I don't hear any digital instruments. Everything's raw, live, organic, and then the music video. I was gonna say it was very Roger Rabbit. If you reminded me of Jessica Rabbit, so you bring your visuals to life, and I'm very excited. And as a fan, I actually not every artist does this anymore. So thank you. A lot of artists, and you don't have to do. You can just get an iPhone and go shoot a video down the street, and it might be 1 million views and do well. I appreciate you putting the big budgets, getting actors, acting the scenes out and everything. So
Thank
very
you so
excited.
much. That's my love. That's one of my passions too. So
Yeah,
you know,
you do a great job with it. I could
you.
tell that it had your touch on it.
Thank you.
So I collected about 4 tweets of yours and an Instagram post.
Okay.
I wanted to read with you and kind of understand what was going through your mind.
Yeah, sure.
So nothing too crazy.
Surprise.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. The good thing about you is you're very collected. It was actually more inspirational stuff. So I wanted to start with this tweet here, where you said, "Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Remember, the greatest love comes from within. So love yourself. This is the key to love and be loved." So why did you feel compelled to tell people to love themselves?
Because I feel like on Valentine's Day, you know, there's a lot of people that are not feeling love. Like it's sometimes for most people, you know, it's nice, you get flowers, you get to be with your loved one and stuff, but for a lot of people it's also a synonym.
Yeah, no, it's very
synonym
sad.
of of loneliness. And it's like, and I just wanted to remind everyone that it doesn't have to be like that, because you should never seek love outside of yourself. You should, you know, like try to celebrate yourself, like love yourself, and
always love yourself.
Always love yourself first, and
Yes.
that's also what's going to allow you to irradiate this love that comes from within, and then be able to love someone else and be loved as well. It's all energy.
It is.
So,
It really is.
you know.
No pun intended. I love that. I think that's very, very well said. So, did you spend Valentine's Day alone?
Who's asking?
The world's asking, right? No, just by reading this, I was like, I have a feeling she didn't spend Valentine's Day alone.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I could tell because it was just the way you were giving people love out. You're like, it's okay, you can love yourself. Well, good. That's a very.
But I have spent Valentine's days, you know, alone
in the past.
before,
All of us
like
have, most
a lot,
definitely,
many. So.
And what's funny about it is when we spend Valentine's Day alone, like, damn, I wish I had somebody. You know, I didn't spend it alone this year. And what happens is like, fuck, I wish I was single. That was so expensive. So it's like, I think human nature, we're never happy on Valentine's Day. It's always expensive.
It's always
and then whatever you
expensive,
spend on the girl 2021, 2022 has to be more. 2023, you got to go even bigger. So unless you're getting into a new relationship every year, it compounds.
But it should not be about the money, though.
No, it's not. But
So
I don't know.
Nah, it shouldn't.
Okay.
It shouldn't. So,
I think as a guy, I just feel I feel like it's my duty to like treat my girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so anyway, when I was single,
But
I
you
was
should
always
treat her every day, you know, not just
That's
full
true.
blown on
That's
one
true,
single
that's
day.
true, yeah.
That's why to me it's like Valentine's Day. It's cool, obviously, you know, it's a good way to celebrate your love for someone or for yourself. But you don't have to spend. It's not about the money. It's not about, you know,
I like that.
being forced to do it.
That is for my girl. It is not about the money.
No, it's not.
Heard it here
It
first.
should never be.
Let's get into your next tweet. Let's see. Okay. Day 1 of fasting.
Oh.
#detox.
Yes.
This was October 30th, 2021. Today is February 15th, 2022. Are you still fasting?
Oh no, because fasting is when I don't eat at all.
Oh,
I do
shit.
water fast.
How long was that for?
So I fast for like 4 days.
Get impossible. You do
So just water
for 4 days.
Yeah, and pressed lemon. Like,
Oh.
you know, lemon juice with
so
hot
you do
water.
that juice detox.
Not juice, just
Okay.
lemon. That's
Okay.
the only thing that you can
Like
do.
actual raw lemon.
Yeah.
Jesus
With water,
Christ.
and this way, you know, it's. I love it though. I recommend it to you, to anyone who's watching. It's very hard,
4 days?
and then you have
Cath-ons?
Yeah, because 3 days is the minimum to reset completely your body.
Jesus. You
So
how often do you do this? Maybe every year or something?
I mean, as of now, I haven't done it since October, I
Okay.
guess, but because of the holidays and stuff. But I'm actually like, I want to do it. I'm probably gonna do it next week or the
Wow.
week after.
I would get so dizzy.
I try to do it every like 3 months, or yeah.
Good
And
for you.
sometimes I do mini fasts where I just fast for like one day, and I
Yeah,
try to do this every week or every.
I
other
do
week.
16 hours a day. I
Yeah.
only eat from 2 to 10.
So you do
so that I
intermittent
get exactly,
fasting.
and
That's really
I've,
good.
I've lost a lot of weight. In that 16 hours, I
Yeah.
get so dizzy. Hour
Yeah.
14, 15, and 16, I start getting dizzy,
Yeah.
very lightheaded.
Yep.
Holy shit! Do you get dizzy after day 1 or 2 or 3?
Yes, actually, after day one, usually I get dizzy. I sometimes get migraines, depending on how much toxins
Yeah.
I have in my body. And I've really been able to, because I've done it for a few years now, so I can really tell the difference between like a certain like months and another one where I do fasting, because it depends on what you have.
What's
already.
inside of you?
Yeah, what's inside.
Interesting.
Of you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was wondering. I thought this meant like you began a new fast. So I was like, how long have you kept it up? Did it like, wow.
Yeah,
but-
no, I don't do diets, but
Okay.
I do
When
fasting
you fast,
to
it's-
reset, and then I just try to eat super clean,
Good
just
for
not
you.
not for weight or anything, but
Yeah.
just for
Well, it's
health,
good for
you know,
performance too.
Yeah.
You'll have more energy on stage.
for sure.
So next here, let's see. Oh, there we go. I don't hate you, but if I were, I don't hate you, but if you were on fire and I had water, I'd drink it. What sign am I? What sign are you?
Guess? Can you guess?
Nah, I'm terrible with signs. I'm just gonna throw out a guess.
I love this one. I forgot about it.
Leo.
No.
Okay, I'm just guessing. I got Pisces.
What's the best sign
Cancer.
of them all?
That's what I am. I'm a Cancer.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was my answer by default. I don't know.
You already said 3, so
Sagittarius? I don't know. I'm just naming them at this point. Cancer, Pisces, Leo, and other Sagittarius.
no, yeah. There's only
Yeah.
so much left, so many left.
I can't even.
What sign
Capricorn.
do you think?
No. Well, okay. There's a picture of Catwoman as
Yeah.
Michelle Pfeiffer playing
Yeah,
Catwoman,
my
which was
favorite Catwoman.
done so well. What sign are you? I can't.
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, how did I think of that? Like Drake. This is something Drake would say. I knew it. This is very Drake-ish right here. But like even using Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, anyone who hasn't seen this Batman, Michelle Pfeiffer was a very dangerous Catwoman.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
she played it very well.
Crazy.
But what was what inspired you to tweet this day? That someone you broke up with?
No, it's just I don't know. It's my, I don't know. Sometimes my very cynical, darker side
Okay.
of it. It's more of a joke. you
Okay, got it. I
But-
thought
but
someone
I love
upset
it.
you.
It's-
Yeah,
yeah.
no, me too. I'm a big movie fan, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, she knows that. That's a good reference.
Yeah.
That's a very well done character. Okay, I thought maybe you had like a relationship you ended.
No.
I was like, oh, he must have got killed or something because Michelle Pfeiffer wasn't playing around. Okay, let's see. Next we have
I don't post about that type of.
okay, like relationship drama. Well, this I thought was a career milestone. Being at the Latin Grammys was simply a dream. Was this the first Latin Grammys you had went to?
Yes. It
You
was
look
the
like you had
first
so
one.
much fun.
It was amazing.
Can you like relive that moment? How did you get there to the Latin Grammys? You go with the label?
Yes, I went with the label. I actually had just signed to them a few months before, and that was just before COVID hit. So everything was still open.
Yeah.
And it was a dream. Like, it was amazing. It was my first time as an artist, even if I wasn't nominated or anything.
Yeah, but
because,
just being there.
But just being there, like being surrounded by so many like artists and so much talent.
Ozuna had to have
and
been there. Bad Bunny had to have been there.
everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah, I met like Sedge, a
amazing.
lot of amazing artists. There were a lot of events also around the Latin Grammys that were super dope. Like lots of industry, like more intimate
Most definitely.
showcases and stuff. Yeah.
Was this
the
like
glam,
what
everything
was this
cool.
like the weekend where you said like I've made it?
Oh no,
Okay.
No.
At this point,
No,
did you know? Because I feel like to me,
it's humbling actually to be there.
yeah, right. Well, I feel like after going to the Latin Grammys, you're never gonna do anything else.
Yeah.
But maybe you already knew years prior, like this was made for me.
The Latin Grammy, I mean the Grammys, the music in general. Yeah, I mean it's part of, it's part of the dream, so it's part of the journey, definitely. But it was more inspiring
Most
to
definitely.
me than me being like, oh, I've made it. No,
Well,
I'm just at this moment I was just so grateful.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, and I think that attitude is why you'll be around for so long. You seem to, even just the way you relive this moment, you appreciate all these little moments, which a lot of artists, I think the bigger you get as an artist, you tend to forget about what the little things mean. Yeah. And then, like, charting on Billboard doesn't mean as much unless it's number one. So I think you're always going to appreciate the moments, and for that reason,
I'm trying.
Yeah, you're going to be around for a long time. And I want to predict, this was the 2019 Latin Grammys. Yes. I want to say by 2024 you will be there at the Grammys, nominated, performing. Because I think COVID, as an artist, COVID kind of, you had to maneuver differently.
Yes.
Now that you're signed, you have your projects coming out, you have your big music videos. I think this is going to be you there soon.
Thank you.
And then there'll be another emerging artist saying, "Oh, look, people outside excited." Yeah. There'll be another emerging artist saying, like, "Oh, I went to Latin Grammys and I met Marie Monti." Yay. And then the cycle will continue. So let's see. I got one more. This is an Instagram post.
Okay.
So one of my favorite moments of, I want to say that was 2021, XXI, I think that's what that means. For my first ever stage in the U.S., you had the honor to open for, is that Joelle Randy?
Joelle Randy, yeah.
Joelle Randy. So we had already talked about this, opening up, but I mean, I guess we've already covered it, but I wanted to like reflect on your first show here in LA. But when's the next time we're going to be able to hopefully?
So in LA, I don't know yet, but I'm flying to Miami, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico in less than 2 weeks, and I'm gonna have a few shows over there.
That's exciting.
So that's where my next shows are gonna be. Okay. And then when we come back to LA,
do you already have a fan base over there in the
Dominican Republic? Not yet. Okay. And I've actually never been as an artist. I've been when I was younger, just traveling. It was one of my favorite trips and destinations.
Yeah, and now you're gonna go back.
And now I'm gonna go back, and I'm so excited. There's so many incredible producers and artists.
You're gonna work out of there too?
Yeah, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna do interviews. I'm gonna meet.
Oh wow, this is a work trip.
Yeah,
and you're gonna perform.
Yeah. Yep.
Amazing.
So super excited for that.
Well, I want to applaud you again for the last time, just to say your whole journey. Thank you for everything you've committed to this art, for taking on Los Angeles, one of the hardest cities, and then getting into, in addition to taking on LA, you took on UCLA. That's the hardest campus to get into. I know personally, those fuckers rejected me 2 times. 2 times I tried. I could have been a Bruin.
Come on, Bruins.
They fucked up. I would have been the coolest Bruin of all time.
Yes, you would.
Not yet, but give me 10 years, they're going to regret the shit out of that decision. I'm going to clip this and send this to you. But UCLA is not easy to get into. Neither is it easy to get signed. And so, the rest of your journey, getting number 1 on Billboard isn't going to be easy. Going platinum isn't going to be easy. Impressing the Stevie Wonders of the community, of the Sades, isn't going to be easy. But you've done so much. So I'm very confident you're going to accomplish everything you have.
Thank you so much.
Forth.
I truly appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words, for the support. For believing in me. It means the world. So.
No, 100%. Honestly, if your music wasn't great, I probably wouldn't have listened to you all week, or I might have been like, hey, we're really busy, can't do any interviews this week. But the music was really good, and when I saw the music video, I was like, oh, this is someone who's really invested in herself. So Dash wanted to get behind you, and we're proud to say we've done Billie Eilish's first in-person radio interview, Cardi B's first in-person radio interview, Post Malone's first in-person radio interview. And if I'm correct, I scoured YouTube. I think this is Marie Monti's first in-person radio interview.
Yes, totally.
We are honored to have it, and we look forward to having you back as you get bigger. And I can't wait for the day that I can't book you for an interview, that I'm like calling Josh. I'm going to be calling I almost said Jorge. I'm going to be calling George like, yo, I need her to get her in here. So very excited to have you in
Thank
today.
You so much. And you can always reach me.
Oh, good to know. We'll see how long this lasts.
Yes.
This is for everyone watching, too. Get in the DMs early, because she's not going to be opening that shit in a year or 2.
But I'll always reply as much as I can.
Okay.
I
I'm
love
going
you
to put
guys.
that to test. We're all going to put, everyone who watches this, go DM her right now. We'll put this to test. Where can we find you on socials?
So you can find me on every socials with the
At
how you call
sign?
it at
I
the
love
at
that.
sign.
I love that.
It's Marie Monti, so ITS Marie Marie Monti Monti.
Okay.
And you can find me, like, you can follow my music journey on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, YouTube, your favorite music platform.
Wherever you hear it,
And
you can hear
yeah.
it. Absolutely. Marie Monti, mucho gusto again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enchanté.
Thank you
Merci
so much.
beaucoup.
Of course, de rien dash radio, where we love to introduce people to music that they've probably heard, but they're not fully familiar with the artist. So this is Marie Monti. Thank you guys so much. Shout out
Thank you,
Saban
guys.
Music, everybody. And until next time.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
And
Peace.
a big bisou to Dash Radio.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much.